All right, what's going on? Back to another training, and this is based off of a request, actually, of someone asking me to talk a little bit about the topic of fear. So that's what I'm here to do. There, there is some what I would call very profound insight as it pertains to fear, and I want to just expose it a little bit to help you find the momentum and the capacity to move forward in the places that you're stuck. And so I think this is going to be heavily valuable. And the reason why I say this, as you guys join in, come on in. The reason why I say this is because I have found out that fear is the most expensive emotion in the world. Come on in. It's good to see you guys. All right. Let me make sure I got. Hey, Danielle, what's going on? I'm always juggling between two different platforms. So you'll see me looking over and trying to kind of glance through the comments here and there. All right. Good evening. All right. I want to talk a little bit about fear. Yes, uh, this was a request for me to kind of do a little bit of a conversation on fear. So let's talk about it because this is something that actually we all deal with. It's not something that we are immune to by no means. And so I'll try not to be long, but I just want to go through this and really help you to break through yet another layer. As I mentioned, fear is the most expensive emotion in the world that I found out. It has stolen more dreams. It has, thank you so much. Someone says she always has a beautiful soul, bright and smart, and athlete. Remember we ran track together. Okay. I don't know what your name is because I just see I got one coach. But happy to see that I got an old schooler with me. Yes. Yes. I ran track when I was in high school and I still love running to this day, as a matter of fact. All right. Fear. So fear, I believe fear has stolen more dreams, has delayed more businesses, blocked more wealth, and kept people stuck in survival, even more so than I would say like the recession or other ideas of why someone wouldn't be able to break through wealth. We often use a lot of external things as to why we're not becoming wealthy, but I'm telling you that fear is at the root of it all, and I'm going to prove it today. Okay, um, most people don't really realize that they're making a financial decision often not from logic but from fear. Okay, so if your money is not where you want it to be, if you are struggling, if you are stuck, if you are trying to build financial future, your financial future, if you are trying to obtain wealth, right, you got to make sure that you are not doing it in fear, and most of the time you are. Okay, and I want to talk about that because fear isn't just costing you money, it's also costing you clarity, and most of all y'all, it's costing you your purpose, right? So I want to expose fear a bit for what it really is and help you to break that cycle of living under its control. All right, so go ahead and like the video. It really does help the algorithm. Share this video, as a matter of fact, and if you're not subscribed, make sure that you subscribe, and turn on your notifications because I'm always here training, and I want to make sure that you get notified. I also want to say that this material is for educational purposes only. If you're looking for a financial advisor or a financial plan, go talk to your own financial advisor and let him give you the 40 to 50-year blueprint for your retirement. I'm not that person. Okay, I don't want to wait that long to enjoy my money, and so talk to your financial advisor if that's what you're looking for. All right, fear is the most important. Thank you so much, she said, for spreading wise knowledge. I appreciate that. Fear is the first emotion recorded in human nature outside of God, right? Outside of God. It wasn't guilt, it wasn't shame, it was fear. How do I know this? Genesis 3:10, when God was looking for Adam, he responded and said, I heard you. This is, I believe, Genesis 3:10. He said, I heard you in the garden and I was afraid. The first emotion of human nature outside of God was fear. And he said, after that, he said, I was afraid because I was naked. And so what did I do? I hid myself. So fear made Adam hide from his creator. It made him, in a sense, disconnect from his identity that was established. And fear made him something. And what it, and first of all, come from God. But it was a byproduct of what? Broken alignment. Okay. And here's what's even more profound than that. The enemy didn't, a lot of people talk about how the enemy gained dominion after Adam did what he did. It wasn't that, it wasn't that the enemy gained any type of dominion. What happened was he gained access to influence through fear. So that's all he needed, was that access to influence. He didn't need a throne. He just needed you to believe in fear more than your faith. And that's it. And that's the secret, is that the enemy manipulates you through fear. Okay. Now, how does this play out in this time right now? Right. Think about it. Fear. I'm going to give you a couple of examples. Fear makes people hesitate. Okay. Like there's a lot of people who know that they should be making a move. They should be investing. They should be doing better with their health. But fear makes you hesitate. It makes you hold on to money instead of multiplying money, right? You know, you should be multiplying. It makes you say no to opportunities because they feel very, very unfamiliar. And often it makes you stay in jobs, relationships, or even mindsets that are not safe at all. Okay. They are not safe, right? And so fear is that thing that always is going to whisper to you when it's time to take an action that you're going to lose something. You're going to lose something in the process. And you get afraid of that. And we believe it. And we believe we're going to lose time, money, stability, relationships. But listen, I'm going to tell you this. You are already losing when you live your life trying not to lose. You lost already. Okay. Now, I want to get deeper with this because I want to help you to understand some things, and I want to uncover some things. One of the things that I've learned about fear is that it really does reverse the laws of creation. What is that? Yes, fear does paralyze you. Um, we are to live in faith, right? And without faith, we can't please God. And where faith builds, fear comes in and starts to block. Where faith moves, fear comes in and freezes. Where faith sees the future, fear starts to replay the past. And that is why wealth doesn't flow in fearful people's lives, because fear is, hear me out, it's anti-abundance. Anti-abundance, right? It operates on the idea of 3 L's: lack, limitation, and loss. So you cannot manifest wealth with a mind that is indoctrinated in fear. Now, let me explain to you how fear constantly makes people broke. Very, very constantly. Hey, Breezy Bree, I see you in the place. That's right. That's a good statement. You're already losing if you're living your life trying not to lose. All right. All right, let's continue. So you don't listen to this, because I think a lot of people think that you have to be in poverty to be broke. You don't. Okay. You don't have to be in poverty to be broke. You can have money in your account, but you can still be broke in your mindset. You can be broke in your vision. You can be broke in your confidence. And fear is what kind of creates this brokenness, because what it does is it teaches you how to protect what you have instead of learning how to position for what's possible. And this fear shows up usually in 2 different ways. And the first one, I mentioned it, is fear of losing, right? This is the kind of fear that makes people, I laugh so much often at the way people jump into the stock market, right? When the stock is crashing, right? People are complaining, oh my God, I'm losing my money, I'm getting out, and fussing and everything, right? Fear of losing more. It's dropping, it's crashing, fear that it's going to just swallow away all of their investments, right? And then on the flip side, when the market start going up, now they chasing the market because of what you call FOMO, fear of missing out. Okay, so you're afraid when it go down, and then you got fear operating your decision when it go up. And it's one of the worst situations when people they buy high and then they sell low, right? So this kind of fear, this is what makes people sell too early and say no to investments that they should be making, right? Or even if like, let's say you on a job, you stay in a job too long, you're not able to bet on yourself. You know what I mean? You're scared, you're afraid. This is why you see people, of course, I said they buy when those prices are high, they sell when the prices are low, not just in stocks and crypto, but think about it. I always say this: how you do one thing is how you do everything. So not just in stocks and crypto, but in life. This is how they play life: is they buy high and then they sell low. They buy into something when everybody else is so hyped, and then they pull out when things go quiet, right? They scared, right? They scared. That's fear. But listen, the greatest wealth is built when everybody else is afraid. Right? I love, if only you all could understand how much money there was to be made when the stock market crashed back 3 months ago. People have made so much money. I made so much money from when the stock market crashed, and I use a temperature of what everybody is saying. As a matter of fact, there's a fear index that you can look at, and when it's on extreme fear, that's the best time to buy. That's when all wealthy people buy, right? That's when millionaires buy. It's the buy low season that makes millionaires, if you didn't know. But guess what? Most people miss out because they are emotionally priced out, not financially. I didn't say financially priced out. I said they are emotionally priced out. They cannot handle the volatility of wealth because they haven't built a stability of mindset, right? So the fear of losing, and then there's the fear of the unknown, right? The fear that keeps people in toxic jobs, toxic habits, small thinking. It starts to whisper, you don't know what's out there. What if it doesn't work? Well, guess what? What if it do work, right? What if you fail and everybody see? What if you win and everybody see? Everybody done had mishaps before, it's that perfectionism that's coming forth. The truth is that fear will make you choose familiarity over freedom. It'll make you choose pain, the pain that you know over the purpose that you don't know. It'll keep you surviving, just surviving, because at least survival is predictable to you. The other side is so unpredictable, you don't even want to go there, even if you're in pain. And the craziest part is that most people don't call it fear. They facade it with all of this other language. You just got to pay attention. I'm just waiting on God. If it will that I be healed, all the type of stuff that completely goes against the Bible, by the way. You already know the Bible tells you what you're supposed to have, the abundant life that you're supposed to live in, right? So you have to understand that there's a cover up often when people are afraid, where they feel like I'm being wise, I'm playing it safe, I'm waiting on God. But the reality is you just stalling. That's it. You stalling because you're afraid. Okay. Now, here's another thing. Fear also feeds on self-doubt. Okay. And of course, it does block wealth. That's the thing that we're talking about today, because we want to make sure that we're positioning ourselves and our mindset to be able to build wealth. But listen, you're not created. Nowhere in your life are you created to live afraid. Fear is not your design. It is a distortion in your life. But the longer you continue to live in fear, the more it becomes familiar to you. And once it becomes familiar, you're going to continue to confuse it with wisdom. Okay. You're going to start calling fear wisdom, and you're going to start calling faith reckless, right? And I'm not saying that there's not a balance to this, but I'm telling you, this is how so many people miss their moment, because they get divine ideas from God and then they start second guessing themselves, feeling like, oh, that's too risky. Or they might get a nudge to, do something different, to invest, to start a new business. And then it's something that says, now you need to play it safe. What if you lose everything? Now you just save this much, there's always this resistance that come, right? You want to start something new, but then here's fear telling you, oh, it's not the right time. All of these excuses are fear manifesting itself in your life, blocking and sabotaging you from your wealth. And if you listen long enough, fear won't just influence your decisions. Hear me out. It'll start shaping your very identity. Okay. You're going to start seeing yourself different, right? It's like You may think in your heart that you're being realistic, okay? But what's really happening is that fear has become your default frequency. I talked about frequency in the last video, so go back and watch it. But it's your default frequency. And the thing about this type of frequency is it cannot attract abundance, unfortunately, because abundance flows to the confidence. Wealth is attracted to people who believe they can handle it. If you do not believe that you're worthy of it, you're going to subconsciously sabotage it every single time. And this is why this is a deeper thing than just the fear of risk. This is literally the fear of self. Okay. This is the fear of self. All right. This is what if I'm not enough? Okay. It looks like it's pointed towards substances. It's really you. What if I'm not enough? What if I can't sustain it? What if I don't have what it takes? That self-doubt starts to come in. And what happens is when that starts to take place, you are pushing your own success away. Do you hear what I'm saying? Hit the like button if you haven't. Please hit the like button. It helps the algorithm. You are pushing your own success away. Nobody else is doing this. It's you. I'm going to talk about that in some further videos about your own cycles and your own resistance. You get out of your way. That's really what I'm trying to say. You need to get out of your way. I know you may want it. I know you may want wealth. I know you may want these things that you desire in life, but you're afraid of what it will require of you. It is you that you're afraid of. Okay. It all points back there, right? So how do we break past this? Here is the golden rule, the golden moment. This is what this entire training right now, this entire video is about, because here's what I need you to know. Fear is not just going to leave on its own. Okay. It's just not going to just go away. It has to be displaced. It has to be displaced. You cannot think your way out of fear. Here is the solution. You must act your way through it. You must act your way out of fear. The Bible says in 2 Timothy that God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. Of course, as we mentioned, fear does not come from God. So anything you do that's led by fear is out of alignment with your assignment. Now let's break it down. Power, love, and sound mind. Power. What fear is going to do is it's going to make you powerless, like life is just happening to you. Okay. That's what it's gonna feel like. But when you step into action, aside from that, when you step into action, what you do is you reclaim your agency. Every time you act despite fear, you weaken its grip. You gotta do it scared. In other words, do it scared. Well, I don't do it scared. Well, I don't have enough money. Do it scared. Every successful person has had to go through this, y'all. Like most people who start a business, they do it scared. Most people who get on social media, they do it scared. Most people who start to sacrifice and start to put their money aside, they do it scared. But what they do is they bet on themselves when nothing is guaranteed. Nothing was guaranteed, but they bet on themselves. And that's power. That's power. And if you don't operate like this, you lose power, because fear makes you lose power. It makes you lose love. It makes you lose a sound mind. Now, love, fear makes you protect yourself. It makes you protect yourself, but love will make you expand yourself, right? It says, even if I'm uncomfortable, I believe this version of me or the future me is worth becoming. That cannot happen if you do not operate outside of fear. You cannot love your future and stay married to fear, y'all. One of them got to go. It's one or the other. And you can't operate in both of them. I'm telling you, when you're afraid to invest, to shift, to start something, just ask yourself, this one question can really help you. Just ask yourself, am I operating in fear or from love of my purpose, my family, and the people I'm called to? That's all you got to do is ask. That'll clear up some decisions real quick. And then a sound mind. When you operate in fear constantly, remember, it is shaping your identity. Your mind remembers it. Your brain remembers it. Your body remembers it. Your calling remembers it. Your future remembers it. Your relationships remember it. Your culture remembers it. Everything remembers it, right? Fear will create instability in your life. It makes you anxious. It makes you scattered. You get to overthinking. It paralyzes you, right? But a sound mind is steady. I talked about indecisiveness in the last video. That's what I talked about. Indecisiveness. And it was very profound. You got to go back and watch it. A sound mind is steady. It sees clearly. It doesn't chase trends. It doesn't panic when things look certain. And here's the paradox. You do not listen to me. You do not get a sound mind first. You gain it through obedience. Obedience then builds the confidence. It's the action that helps you to gain that sound mind. You're not going to everybody's always waiting on the perfect circumstance to do something. You're not going to get a perfect circumstance. I'm waiting on clarity of thought. You're not getting clarity of thought until you move and do it scared, right? So stop waiting on a sign, right? Listen, many people are always waiting on confirmation. You're waiting. You know what you're waiting for? You're waiting to feel safe, right? But but faith is never about safety. It's about alignment. Most of you, think about it. You know already what you need to do, but you've been circling the same decisions for weeks, for months, and years because fear has been driving your car, right? It's been in control of your life. And so, you know what? I pray for you and I pray for your courage today. I pray that you come to believe that God is with you. Let me say that again. God is with you. Put it in the chat. God is with me. God is with, that's one thing that I always say to myself. I don't care how bad it is. I know God is with me. He is with you. I pray also that you understand that your past cannot stop your future. And that if you move, even while you are afraid, that your fear will break. That is what I'm speaking over you, that your fear will finally break, that your confidence will rise, and the wealth that you have been praying for will finally have a place to land in your life. That is what I want to tell you today. And I hope that you receive that. And I hope that you believe that. All right. Now, make sure that you hit that subscribe button for me. Turn on your notifications because I am going to be back to talk about more. Hit that like button if you haven't. Share this with a friend because we don't need to go into the next season or the end of this year with fear gripping us and causing us not to walk into the divine place that God wants us to walk into. Now, if you are still wondering about the 90-day challenge, the link is in the description. It is a transformational experience. You're going to get high-level coaching, a powerful community, and practical action steps that's going to help you to rewire your mind for wealth and long-term success, break toxic cycles like procrastination, emotional spending, fear-driven decisions like we talked about today. You're going to get help with mastering your health physically, mentally, of course, financially, building habits that wealthy, aligned, and powerful people live by every day. All right. So again, the link is in the description. Also, comment in, put in the comment box what you would like me to talk about. I'm always looking to be inspired. Share your story. Share your story and how you've overcome fear in certain areas or what you plan to do to overcome fear. You know, help somebody else, inspire somebody else. There are people who read these comments and they are profoundly, incredibly blessed by the things that you say. So do share, please do. And last, I just want to say this. Let me look at the chats real quick. Just making sure. Somebody said by low season, fear is a monster. Yes, God is with you. All right. Don't be one of the scary cats. All right. We always say when we're trading in the stock market, you know, that you can't be afraid and trade like emotionally. It's really a bad thing. And so they always use the term and say, you know, scared money don't make money. You know, you can't be scared. All right. So listen, whatever you do, let me just tell you this. Do not let fear be your financial advisor. Okay. Because that's what it is for some of you. Do not let fear be your financial advisor. And most importantly, finally stop self-sabotaging what God already gave you the green light to build. Be encouraged. I'll see you guys next time.